scary because they won't give me a second test.
I had the classic symptoms. I started off with a fever.
I had a mild fever.
The fever was quite constant for a few days.
I stayed in bed for 3 days until the fever broke.
I started getting fevers on the 8th day.
I was just dealing with the fever, but then it started to get progressively worse, and it got really bad.
And I started with the cough, the dreaded cough.
Every time I finished a coughing fit, it was the couldn't catch my breath.
I was lethargic. I could barely breathe.
I'm very short of breath. I'm unable to finish sentences.
It hurt so much inside my chest that I could not use my inhaler because I couldn't take a deep enough breath.
I was having like a knife pain to the chest.
Having these coughing fits that would like actually make me keel over and feel like I couldn't breathe. I think that was like the fear that I could die, you know.
She's God, think you're gonna die. It was not a pleasant experience.
To not be able to hug your child, to not be able to invite him into your home, just the devastation of the world that we now live in kind of hits.
There is, at this point, a very small percentage that does die. So, I mean, was I going to be part of that percentage?
The shortness of breath, that was really scary to me. So I called 911 and the EMTs came and they checked my breathing and checked my lungs, but they didn't take me to the hospital.
I was so uncomfortable. I was so panic stricken that I was like, all right, let me call an ambulance and get to a hospital because something's wrong.
My husband says, okay, I've had enough. I am taking you to the hospital that you work at to get care.
Suddenly on the Wednesday, I just collapsed really, and I had to be taken into hospital. And after, 12 hours or so, they did the test, and much to my surprise, I had the virus.
And so then I went to a testing center, I got tested, and then I found out I tested positive, and it's just kind of been a roller coaster ever since.
They stuck a swab up my nasal, very deep inside of it, and took a swab, and that was it. They told me to drive away.
I had to lie about some things. I told them that I had a pre-existing condition and I came into contact with someone who tested positive. That wasn't true, but I really wanted to get tested and they wouldn't test me.
And then one day it just started getting better.
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm back to cooking and cleaning and exercising some.
And now I'm able to do things like donate my antibodies for research studies, which is very nice. So I do feel very lucky that I was able to get tested.
Take those precautions and take it seriously, because it certainly is not a fun virus. Not that any virus is, but people need to take it seriously because it's just continuing to grow like wildflower.
In terms of my mind and heart and soul, I'm 1,000 times better than I was a few days ago when I was in hospital. It's just, it's like coming from a black and white movie into a full color one.